Hello, it's John Binnie. I've just had a beautiful day at Naked Revive, and I'm going to drive home. And let me just turn this off. Oh, actually, I probably need to do it in a minute. Okay, let's drive. Let's roll. I wanted to share some really interesting and exciting experiences today. Oh, this is a bit tricky. I think I'm gonna have to do a big loop around. I can show you the grand tour of the long stay car park in Paddington, passing that nice big camper van. Yeah, what can I share today? Very interesting. So, the first session I had was a what I thought was going to be a Swedish massage. Well, it was originally booked massage session, and then what was funny was um, when I was chatting with the client, they were saying, "Oh, now that I've learned, or at least had one day of training in Indian head massage, I offered that if they're interested, because I know that they're primarily interested in their their neck and shoulders. Um, so yeah, I offered that, and then when my client turned up, it became pretty apparent that they wanted a psychic Indian head massage, and I just felt like I had that like pause of hesitation, like, oh, am I ready for this? I don't know. What will I do? And it dawned on me that, frankly speaking, as long as I know how to do the thing, I can do anything with that psychic aspect of the service, right? Uh, there's probably some things I can't do very well, like singing at the same time. I think I find hard, but yeah, the vast majority of other things, um, there's no reason why I can't offer that as a service, right? That really got me thinking. And if you remember the psychic Swedish massage, that took me a few weeks to be ready to share it. And it's just really fascinating, right? Isn't it? Like that you can develop these new combinations of services um, just by kind of going with it. And oh yeah, now I'm remembering my meditation message. My meditation message for my guide Maya today was all about uh, going with the flow. And I did have a feeling that it was somehow connected to this, that it'd be related to my work today. And just like many things, I just said to myself, oh, well, it is what it is. I'll find out what it is when it happens. And there's really no need to be worried or look out for it or try and understand what it is. Like I'll know it when it happens. I know, yeah. I certainly knew it when it happened. um, and my beautiful client, if you know who you are, if you're my first psychic Indian head massage client, you were just such a gift to work with, and I'm very grateful for your custom, and and also these are very you know special sessions, right? Like they're when you do special, it's often very you create close connections with people when you're using physical touch alone, like reflexology, Indian head massage, Swedish massage, and yet when you add the psychic aspect, it becomes even more in depth, right? It's like your souls are talking with each other as well and connecting. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for that, and um, I always respect people's privacy, but it was just a wonderful experience at a high level to share. So thank you for that. And so, you know what I did between client sessions? So I just went ahead and created the service on my website and did like the AI art for it. And whilst the AI art isn't perfect, it's a start, and it allows people to book me because I know there was at least two people that wanted to book me. So that was a pleasure to just do. And it also helped me like just avoid the bad habit of going home and and doing that stuff, right? Of oh, I'll spend some time on my laptop. But no, I don't think that was a good idea. Uh, yeah, there's a couple of themes from recent client sessions I wanted to share. One is, I mean, I've spoken about this several times before. It won't come as a shock to you, but um, I wanted to talk about the collapse of the third dimensional Earth, these lower vibration systems and control and fear of Earth. And it it often brings me with, sometimes it's a bit controversial, and sometimes I find myself, finding it difficult to integrate. And, recently client sessions have been helping really expand on what it means. And I feel it's because like I love Mother Earth. I really love Mother Earth. And I'm so grateful for this planet. And look at the beautiful place, the area where I live. I just feel so humbled and grateful to live in this beautiful part of the planet. And, in a happy, healthy, prosperous country as well. And sure, like many countries, we've got our fair share of problems, but um, I'm, I feel very blessed to be here for all the places that I've traveled, all the countries I've traveled in my life so far. I specifically have been experiencing more about the collapse of the third dimension. And this means, so it will still exist, right? So this third dimensional Earth will still exist. But in comparison, so in vibrational comparison to higher up, um, higher up dimensions such as fourth and fifth dimension, it'll seem more like a hell on earth. And if if you want to be like really clear about how many of us feel right now, especially when we see what's going on in the US, in Europe, in many countries, really around the world, is we find, I feel that our expectations and our vibration continues to increase. And it's a good thing, right? Like we should take pride in raising our expectations about what we want from this planet, what we want from each other, the standards that we hold ourselves to. Like raising these all the time is good, right? Everyone benefits. I think the non obvious unintended consequence, or maybe yeah, the kind of dog that's not barking, if you like, is that it means that as you raise your own vibration, the lower vibrations become even more intolerable. There's a hard word to say, intolerable. Um, and they seem more circus-like, or pantomime-like. And I, when I'm sat there at a client session and the guide's saying to me, "Oh, allow the third dimension of Earth to fall," it I find it hard because it's like this is my planet. I don't want any aspect of it to fall. And what they're really saying to me is the guide saying, allow it to fall in vibration. And does it really fall? Or do we just keep, for those of us that choose to raise the vibration, are we just continuing to rise? Well, you get to decide, right? Everything is relative in this universe, literally. So just starting by bringing awareness to these frequency differences is really important. Also, Mother Gaia keeps saying to me, and many, many sessions now, she's saying, don't worry, I've got like I'm so ready for all these people that are going to choose, and other beings on the earth, they're going to choose to stick around in the third dimension in this lower vibration. And she said she's got a whole range of fun for them to experience. So I say by fun, I mean it includes lots of challenging experiences, but there's no judgment, right? There's It's a choice. Everyone gets to choose their frequency, their vibration. Um, Even when so many uh, are trying to, so many people, leaders, governments are trying to control us, to keep us in fear, um, and to convince us that they lead us, that they dictate, what we do in our lives. And just to be absolutely clear, this universe is not a dictatorship. This universe, its first fundamental universal law is free will. So if we feel that's true for us, if you choose that, to believe that and accept that universal law, then you're truly free. You don't need someone else to set you free. You don't need someone else to tell you that something is legal or illegal, or against their policies or not. And other people don't have the right to inject fear into you and to tell you that, you know, to pick on the weak and, elderly and disabled, and like they don't get to do that without um, a karmic debt, without having to pay it back. And whether it's in this lifetime or another lifetime, like the universe gets to choose how souls, and also souls have a bit of a say in how they repay it, but they have to repay it. It is a rebalancing function. It is the um, it is the enforcement of free will. So the only thing we really need to avoid is this kind of implicit free will, where we just kind of don't really have a proper boundary, and we get a bit scared and just allow, governments and leaders to just walk all over us. Even if you're just stood there in your home, and you're saying, and you're watching something, and you're saying, I do not accept this. I do not accept what I'm seeing. I do not accept this for me, and I don't accept it for others. Like that, like you're making a strong boundary. You're saying no to this. Now you get to choose whether you continue to watch. You get to choose whether you engage with that vibration. And I'd encourage you after that, if you can, avoid going into like a rage. What's the word? Like a trough of anger and rage and very low vibration um, hatred, for example. Instead, focusing on, this is not the reality I create for myself. I choose a reality of, and insert your own words because you get to choose. It's free will, right? I choose unconditional love, compassion, equality, and abundance for all, and amongst other things. And in those like affirmations, like follow your joy, try and step into a world where, because the fourth and fifth dimensions, like they're not like that, right? They're not pulling people around. They're not control against and putting people in fear and profiting and feeding off of people's energy or money. No, they're much more about community and equality and helping each other and celebrating the differences between us. All of us are so beautifully unique. So just talking through this a bit and just sharing a bit about how I feel about the fall of the third dimension. I also know that many of us are tasked Like we've taken missions to come back to the third dimension to help people that have, chosen a bit later to come to join the fifth dimension, these higher vibrations. And the other, I feel like at the very heart of why I personally find it difficult to see, to feel into and integrate the third, fourth, and fifth dimension differences and the kind of success and the rise and fall of each is that simply when you're in the third dimension, the fourth and fifth dimensions don't exist to you, right? They're like they're not at your frequency. They're not at your level, your emotional state. And so it's not surprising that we find it hard to, if like I feel right now as we speak, well, I mean, I know I'm living my dream life and everything, but I feel quite third dimension. On the happy side, sure. Um, on the upper side of it, but I feel like I'm in the third dimension. And I feel bad about part of like a dimension of the planet, going through changes that I wish I could, save. I wish I could save this part, this third dimension planet, but I know that ultimately the saving of the planet is across all dimensions. And you could argue that the successful ascension of Earth is the aspects of Earth to step up into the fourth and fifth. And just in case you're worried that you're going to miss the deadline for choosing which dimension you want, like there's no rush. There's literally no rush. And of course, that always really fascinates me. If you're ever wondering whether a choice is you know a good thing or a bad thing for you, one thing you can check in on. It's not always the case, right? But a lot of the time, those that propagate fear against you or try and make you take rash decisions. They try and make you do it quickly so that you don't really engage your heart, and you don't reflect on it, and you don't tap into your higher wisdoms like your higher self or your guides or past lives. They want you to answer in the moment and react in the moment. So even just taking a bit of time, just like your choice about which dimension you want to be in at any given time, it's it's important to know that there's this beautiful grace of the universe, and nothing needs to be rushed. Trees, the growth of a tree can't be rushed. The just like the ascension of a planet, the ascension of you, it can't be rushed. It just has a path to follow, like a river can't be rushed, or you can't push a river, push against the river. Um, and that also, just to make things a little bit more complex, or should I say more fun, is that these aspects, these dimensions can coexist. Um, so bubbles of third, fourth, and fifth dimensions can coexist. And these can be like, imagine like the houses in your streets or wherever you live, that they have a bubble around them, and each of the bubbles is set by the vibration, like the happiness of the occupants of the home. And so super happy people up in the fifth dimension have a fifth dimensional bubble around their home. And then on the same street, you can have like, third and fourth dimensions, depending on the happiness of people. Um, so that's important to feel into, because it also, I think, helps give perspective. You're thinking, well, hang on, if you get to choose your Earth, choose your dimension of Earth, and we're all coexisting together, does that mean like as the planet gradually separates in these dimensions, that we'll kind of disappear to each other? And I think the short answer is yes. But I feel like in a happier, healthier way of understanding that process is that higher vibrational beings, people struggle to see lower vibration people and experiences, and vice versa. Um, and and I think that can help you, right? It can help you see that there's much more of a gradual transition. We don't just become, often as humans, we don't just become so happy overnight that everything's perfect in my life and everything's great now and all my worries are solved. It's more gradual. So yeah, just encouraging you to feel into all this. Like, how true does it feel for you? What does the third dimension mean to you? Let me know in the comments. What does fifth dimension Earth mean to you? Let me know in the comments. Um, and we all get to explore and experience this beautiful reality um, as we wish. We all get to choose. So I'm arriving home after a beautiful day at Naked Revive and chatting to you guys about dimensions. And I'm like taking it's now just after 6 p.m. I'm taking the rest of the day off. Uh, no more work today. And yeah, it's been a real pleasure helping you on your journeys. If you have any questions about dimensions or Indian head massage or psychic work, let me know. And I will be in client sessions tomorrow doing a mindful leadership podcast. And then Thursday, I will be back with another live stream. So looking forward to that. Take care, everyone. Sending love.